This invisible force runs your whole entire life. What's going on, everybody? It's Nick Santonastasso, global keynote speaker. And if you don't know me, I spent the last 8 years of my life learning healing modalities, psychology, hacks, tips, and tricks. And I've taught over 1 million people live from stage. I've built a few businesses, and I've did it all with no legs but arms. So I think I got some insight and some wisdom to share with you. And so over these next 6 to 8 minutes, I would say, I can only count to one, so don't trust me in the time, is I'm going to share the number one invisible driving force in your life that dictates your whole entire life, how to upgrade it, how to not sabotage it. And the more you know, the more you can win. And the more you learn, the more you earn. Oh, I'm rhyming today. The invisible force that runs your whole entire life is the big I word, and it's what we call identity. You may have heard it thrown around in personal development videos and seminars and books and all this different type of stuff. And I'm going to break it down in a way that hopefully is simple, obtainable, and digestible so you can execute and you can get to the next level. Now, identity. Identity is this invisible force that runs your whole entire life. And the truth is, you will act in alignment with your identity. For the truth is, there's people out there that their identity is rich, and so they only buy rich things. They go to rich coffee shops. They buy rich underwear. They buy rich clothes. They got rich cars. They got rich houses. They got rich things. And then there's people that have identity of poverty, of scarcity, and they know scarcity. They use scarcity tactics in the grocery store. They use scarcity tactics when they buy and they shop and they look for deals and bargains. And the truth is, I love all these versions because I was all of these versions as well. The version of me sitting here at 28 years old with, a net worth of a few million, whatever it may be, wasn't always like that. My identity for the majority of my life was a victim. My identity was that I was not valuable. I was unconfident. I was uncertain. I was inadequate. I was useless. Yes, I know it gets dark, but that is the truth. That was my identity. I was a nobody. I was a kid with no legs and arm who struggled. And I jumped into personal development as a 20-year-old, and now I'm 28. And I have 8 years of experience that I want to turn around and condense time for you. And so the question becomes, how do I upgrade my identity? And how do I change my identity? And how do I sustain an elevated identity? Now, before I let you know or give you the at least my technique or my hallucination on how to upgrade and sustain your identity, I want to give you an analogy to paint the picture. So in your house, whether it's warm or cold, you have something called a thermostat, right? The thermostat is something on your wall where you can make it hotter, you make it colder. So I want you to visualize and imagine that your identity is a thermostat. Now, say you are operating at 70 degrees. You're operating at 70 degrees, and you start to hang out with millionaires. Next thing you know, you're in a circle of millionaires. They got their Rolls Royces, and they're talking about business. Just by proximity, you are going to start elevating your identity and heating your identity up because of association of millionaires. They always say if you hang around with 4 millionaires, you become the 5th, is because when you're around high-level individuals, you start to adopt their way of thinking. You start to adopt their habits. You start to adopt their rituals. You start to their way of viewing the world, and your identity starts to raise, so you start to heat up. Or another analogy that I can give you with the thermostat is, have you ever made a lot of money in a month? Maybe you made the most money you've ever made, and next thing you know, you spent more money than you've ever spent. Maybe you spent that money on things that you don't essentially need. Have you ever been there? I know I've been there. I have had an incredible month. Next thing you know, I blew a whole bunch of money. Why is that? Because when you're a 70 degreer and you start moving up to 75 degrees, 80 degrees, your identity, because it's used to 70 degrees, says, hey, you're a 70 degreer, man. You're a 70 degreer, girl. Come back down to 70 degrees. And so if you're not conscious of it, your own brain will sabotage you to cool you back down to what you're comfortable at. Don't miss it. Just by me sharing that, can you maybe identify a moment in your life where you started elevating and then you sabotaged it? Could have been in a relationship, could have been with money, could have been with finances, could have been with a business opportunity. Or maybe you're like, I'm going to become a speaker, and then someone offered you the opportunity to speak and you said no. It's because you weren't aware that your identity was trying to cool you down to back to what you think you're worth. Now let's take it on the flip side, for example. Say you're a 70 degreer and you lose a few clients or you lose your job. Have you ever been in a moment where you didn't know how you were going to put food on the table, but you found a way? Have you ever been in a moment in your life where you hit absolutely rock bottom and you thought you were going to die? You literally thought you were going to die, or you thought you'd never dig yourself out of the hole, but here you are on this video and you made it. You made it through to the next level. You proved yourself wrong or right, but you survived. That's because if you're a 70 degreer and you drop down to 65 degrees, your identity says, hey, you're a 70 degree or not 65. Heat up, man. Heat up, girl. Get back into the game. Get back on the horse. Get back on the path. And you heat yourself back up to what you think you're worth. Make sense? And so now maybe your brain is thinking, okay, Nick, I know thermostats and I know identity, and I don't know if I'm a 65, a 4, maybe I'm a 30, maybe I'm a 70. Doesn't matter where you're at. The question becomes, how do I elevate and heat up my identity, and how do I sustain it? I'm going to give you these strategies right now. There are 3 things that will upgrade your identity, which will heat you up and keep you at an elevated identity, which, by the way, your whole life changes when your identity changes. The first thing is coaching. Now, that may be like, oh, Nick, okay, what do you got for me? I don't have anything to give you. I don't have anything to sell you. Maybe I'll invite you to something. But the truth is, I share this with you because coaching will elevate your identity for a few reasons. The first thing is, when you're in the game, you can only see the game. You can only hear what you can hear, and you can only see what you can see. And so I cannot see my blind spots. I'm really good at seeing your blind spots because I'm not you. I'm really good at seeing what's wrong with you, but I'm really bad at seeing what's wrong with me. Even as good as I am, it's hard for me to see my blind spots. So when you have a coach, they get to call out your blind spots. And also when you have a coach who has knowledge in a specific field that you want to be successful in, they can collapse time. If someone is really good at speaking, like myself, I can teach you how to become a greater speaker faster than you can do it yourself. It's just common sense. And so coaching, when you elevate yourself with coaching and coaches that are at a higher level, you will start to raise your identity. The second thing that will raise and sustain your identity and will heat you up is consistency. You can't lose if you don't miss. You can't lose if you don't miss a workout. You can't lose if you don't miss a post. You can't lose if you don't miss a call to your mom, a call to your dad. Consistency proves to yourself that you are the man or woman that you say you are, that you will follow through in your word, that your word is bond. And so when you're consistent, elevates your identity. You become someone who's consistent. You'll take more risks. You'll take action more. You'll say things. You'll commit out loud to do things because you know you're a man of your word. You're a woman of your word. And so consistency. But also consistency makes the non-believers believers. Don't miss that. Most people maybe don't believe in you now. Keep moving forward. Keep posting. Keep speaking. Keep pushing. Keep building. Keep scaling. Prove them wrong with your words. And so consistency will elevate your identity like no other. And the third and final thing that will raise and sustain your identity is community. You are who you surround yourself with. And I know you've heard it millions of times, but the truth is most of you don't need to be taught. You need to be reminded. And sometimes different information hits at different seasons of your life. If you hang around with toxic people, you become toxic identity. If you hang around with low identity people, you become a low identity individual. You hang around with high people who make you feel uncomfortable, you're forced to level up. Your identity is forced to get to the next level. And so if you stay with coaches, if you stay in a community of like-minded individuals, and if you stay consistent, you will naturally, organically, incredibly raise your identity and most importantly, sustain it. And last but not least, here's a little bonus piece of information. You want to raise your identity, you want to do it fast, you want to skip the line, shock your brain. We call this technique shocking the brain. Now, what is shocking the brain? Shocking the brain means that right now, I know I'm going to scare you, but right now you commit to something that you were scared to do and you do it anyway. If you aren't a runner, go commit to a half a marathon and go train. Now you're like, well, easy for you to say, you got no legs. I know. I could probably still run faster than you. Okay, I still love you. Don't worry. But do something that shocks the brain. If you want to raise your identity with diet, do 75 days of no cheat meals. If you really want to shock your identity, if you're a drinker, go 70 days. Commit 30 days with no alcohol. Watch your whole entire identity change. I can assure you, if you commit to something like that, that's pretty extreme, but you can do it, your identity will change. But the question is, will you sustain it? And this is where most people fall short. They get massive momentum in 30, 60, 75 days, and then they quit. They sabotage it because they're just good to being a 70-degreer. They're okay. They're content with it. But my hallucination is that if you've gotten this far in this video, you're watching a video that is improving your life and not destroying your brain cells. My hallucination is you're somebody who wants to elevate their identity and wants to sustain it. And the truth is it's readily available for you. Every single one of you can elevate your identity and sustain it by coaching, by consistency, and community. Take an initiative. make a decision that you're going to elevate your identity. Come back in a few videos and tell me that you implemented it. That's the greatest gift that you can give me. For those that want to dive a little bit deeper and want more proximity to me, P.S. I have the Victorious Inner Circle. It is where we're entirely built off coaching, consistency, and community. Every single Monday, I teach live on Zoom with my friends, my millionaire friends, and my celebrity friends, or I teach. We're building a community of people just like you all over the world. And the cool thing is I want to gift you a free trial. Test it from the inside, not the outside. Tour the house before you buy it. Test drive the car before you buy the car. And if you come on the inside for 7 days for free and you like the community, you like the content, most important, you like the energy, stay with us. And if you don't, we still love you anyway. My gift from me to you, test drive it. The link is below. With that being said, if you got value from today's video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, because every single week we're dropping fire just like this one. And it's an honor to serve you. And thank you for showing up each and every week. I'm Santonastasso. We'll see you in the next video.